a little bit of an advantage here, at least in recent memory.
Yeah, I guess the only kind of counterpoint to that is that for the Huns, this is like probably one of the most important games, right? Because they don't have a lot of upcoming big international opportunities. And obviously the winner of ESL Asia goes straight through to Pro League. So that's what it's all about. That's what we're battling for here today in the lower bracket. The Huns taking on Chinggis Warriors, kicking off on Ancient. So we have T-side moving over towards B early, a full set of utilities. So this looks pretty direct.
Yes, indeed. Cobra is going to be the first to chime in here, though, with that open angle. Does get traded out. I feel like, maybe a solid keep alive kind of move would have been good there. Zeralt, meanwhile, gets a trade out. So retake doesn't look too bad. Lots of players swinging round on that long angle, and eventually the kills will go the way of that CT side. Looked a little dicey for a moment. I thought, that trade comes in and maybe control of the site fully goes, but they recover it well.
Yeah, I think retake is maybe even a strong word for what just played out. And I think this kind of sets the tone for what to expect for the rest of this series, because that bomb goes down and immediately they're already continuing to fight long. Like, I don't think anyone on that T side saved the player that was planting the bomb, slowed down there at all. They wanted to really try and press the issue, see if they could catch off some of those CT rotates quickly. But losing those opening engagements, put them on the back foot, and the Huns trade out really nicely. Couple of kills for 9. Obviously, there will be an investment off that, given they got the bomb down. So we get 1 AK, and then a bunch of pistols, which is a strange round 2 buy.
Yeah, maybe slightly. But hoping to get somebody into the mixture, I'm sure. Quick trades out here towards middle. An advantage just about for the Huns, looking pretty solid now, in fact. So, I don't know, Chinggis Warriors in with the buy, but then just sort of sending it is maybe not what I would have wanted to see, you know what I mean? Some more structure, kind of an idea into this round would have been much better, in my opinion.
Yeah, it really just felt like they were just running at them, like in cave, in middle. It all felt very disjointed. And then your AK is kind of just sitting back, just waiting to see, I'll play off what you guys can pull off. If you can find an opening, middle B, I'll come through and see what we can do. But yeah, a little bit of a rough way to pull off the force buy. And you've even gifted an AK over to 9. We do get a hero AK into this round, so it's essentially the same buy. This is what some would say is not good financial planning. But we'll see.
Yeah, I think I'd be in agreement. I'm not quite sure what the logic is here, to be honest with you. Just really relentless, I suppose, from the Chinggis Warriors. Maybe it is going to work out for them. First kill, nice and easy. It's controllers, of course, on this AK. Gets a kill, goes untraded. B-bomb site. Now very, very vulnerable indeed. So easy plan, and I don't know, this doesn't look great. I think they're aware of the fact that there's some flanking presence, the one smoke as well, just going to be really, really awkward to keep them away from the site. So first kill comes in on the retake, but this does feel quite tight.
All the utility, the kits, everything they need, but that AK has struck through straight onto the head of Yami. Time starting to tick down, and that's a really awkward engagement. But 9 spam almost takes out another. In fact, he does get it. So many kills through the smoke, but there's no time. They take everyone down. So in the end, that 1 AK that comes through a couple of pistols, it works the second time.
Yeah, I mean, again, this is what I was talking about, the unpredictability of a matchup like this. I think we have just seen a great deal of that. The force buy that looked a bit more put together falls completely flat, and then the one that is pretty desperate, to be honest, works out. So we're probably going to see a good number of rounds like that. But yeah, just kind of wild that they're able to make that work much quicker, much more aggressive, and much more coordinated, I think, as well in that round, which is a very big deal.
This is such an insanely aggressive and fast-paced start to this map. There are fights going on everywhere, and it's been so fast that it's only just clocked to me that Chinggis Warriors are playing with a stand-in. Got Ghetto Kids here, which is an incredible name.
Yeah, they do have some good ones out in the Asian region for sure. We ended up on the Feng Da game because of the Huns forfeit the other day, and some of their names, there's like 3XGL, Leet X9, you know,
That's
there's
good.
just some, they're kind of creative, I guess, but very hard to pronounce is the problem. Zeralt with a nice double to seal this one in for the Huns. So the responsive round here is pretty damn solid, and he will find himself 3 in the end, in fact. So look for a moment that we might have a bit of a round on, but yeah, the B-bomb site, not as easy as they were expecting.
Yeah, it started well. They got the opening kill, and then they actually just slow it down. They really try and draw that round out a little bit after how pacey so many of these rounds have been. Had a player stuck in mid boxes, gets harassed by utility. And then the slowdown, yeah, gives that space. They just contact out onto B. So Zeralt's more than happy just to take that timing and catch them off. So finally, we do get the economy broken for the T side. Just going to have a deco come out. And Zeralt's already had a bit of a spot into what's going on here. Okay, just walk through the smoke. That's one way to get the opening kill. And not slowing down, but will be forced to slow down. Nine will get the kill back, has to retreat because he's feeling the pressure.
Such an insane frag, honestly. Man. Any more to go with it, I suppose, is the question. Now everyone's on, you know, smoke watch, I suppose. So it's not going to work out, second time of asking. Still got this AK in the hands of Carnage, but unfortunately, he's got no armor, so an easy find in the end. And now just the Glock is all that remains. Here we go. AK picked up. Oh, okay.
Okay.
2 headshots landed. We'll take that. Some damage, you know, always going to be good, but the Huns are starting to really grow this lead now. I think Chinggis Warriors need a rifle round, you know, that's kind of the key thing to remember here.
Ghetto Kids can shoot, though. Yeah, finally we do get 5 rifles out. So a couple of them are Galils, and everyone wanted to throw the insta-mid there. And again, it's B, where Chinggis Warriors have been putting a lot of their early pressure. Fantastic nade as they're trying to assemble the boost. 3 players involved in that. Miss smoke over towards the ramp, and Chinggis Warriors will try and exploit this, but straight into the AWP of 9. Keeps them at bay. 2 opening kills, and now the rotations come through, and in fact, they don't even want to slow down. They want to keep fighting forward.
They don't really have an option, though, honestly. Smoke in the way. It's their own smoke as well, just for survival. Oh my god. Is there any need? It's a laboured spray down as well, but it seems to have worked out. Cobra with a very, very cheeky play will just solidify this one. Goodness me. Harakil then left to try and recover something, but position known. This is kind of where these players are thriving at the moment, at the end of rounds, going for those quick, snappy exits. But yeah, I think the Huns, after losing that first, will respect him now and just wind that clock down. Let him come to them. It's a nice little smoke, denies some information away, but there is really only one place he's going to end up there for. And they are very, very ready. 9 on the crack angle here. And he will get the micro flick. So Huns looking good. And just keeping them fully at bay now. Starting to get problematic at 5-1.
Yeah, and we're starting to play some disrespect Counter-Strike. I think the Huns are realizing that Chinggis Warriors are playing pretty gun-ho, just charging through, sitting in smokes. So why not play their own game? Push a smoke. Love a little double out from Cobra. Yeah, I wonder what the situation is for this stand-in. So we're missing E-Fire. I think it's normally one of the better players for this team. Certainly been one of their better performers as of late. We've got 2 stand-ins. No, we don't.
It's a tough one, you know. Again, in Europe, we've maybe streamlined the usernames, you know, on the server and whatnot, but some of the Asian teams, not so much. As you can see with Exec Bartak, whatever that means. He will
it
get
could just
himself
be
an
that
easy triple.
we don't have the exact name on the HUD.
Yeah, I think so. You know, there's a bit of...
Now that you've pointed out that Bartax is wrong.
Yeah. Bit of crossover. So it really keeps you on your toes. It's quite an important part of casting, of course, you know, for people out there that have maybe never tried it, is getting the names and knowing the names. And you load up on the server and
ECL,
4 of them are different.
Yeah, we've got to play a bit of a detective game to work out who's who. So presumably Ghetto Kids is there for E-Fire.
Until we're told otherwise, you know.
All right, we've got the AWP out. Will this mean that Chinggis Warriors play a slower T-side? Let's see. Seems unlikely, but I'm willing to suspend disbelief.
Could certainly be possible. However, they're forced to play slow here. In all honesty, they were thinking about mid, but it's very, very well read here for Huns. 3 in towards middle, which means lots and lots of utility to stop your opponents coming out. So, very well played here, and indeed maybe something that they recognize is that Chinggis Warriors go for this kind of a round, and it's pretty textbook from them. Or maybe a bit of luck on their side with the call here. Cobra, up close and personal on the MP9, able to find an easy frag to start things off again. Chinggis Warriors maybe a little bit excitable to try and force something to happen in this round.
Now they'll just contact up B. Bartak has a good line here and has that support, and it's just the 2 players here though. So if this kill can be found in the Bartak, that does give them space and they can scale out towards long. Bomb to be planted for that position. You've got the AWP poster too. Deep smoke lands in. This is the best position we've seen Chinggis Warriors in, but 9 blows the smoke. Gets a quick kill. That definitely sets up the retake. Good flashbang to scale in towards long. Yami will swing onto Hercule. So now they will fall back and remove Cobra. You still got this AWP in place, so it's certainly possible. Oh no, the flame spread. You can see the panic starting to set in. Fire at the feet, and Controls is losing all of it. Defuse in the smoke. He decides, yep, I'm just going to hold on to this AK. If he'll even be allowed, just about gets away, but the round does too.
Yeah, really not a good sign there. You know, I think you sum it up quite well, that it's the best position Chinggis Warriors have been in probably all game. Comes off the back of a bit of luck, right, with the contact. Very, very risky move, of course, but the fact that they were in this kind of winning position and they don't even really come close for my money is certainly a worrying sign. So, yeah, this could get very one-sided. It's already pretty one-sided. You're just on the cusp of a recoverable half and whatnot, so probably need to win this one. At the very least, bring it competitive, keep that money rolling in. If this is a dominant round, we could see the Huns hitting double digits in this first half.
And this is Chinggis Warriors map pick. Worth noting that as well. I think it's the pace of the Huns' response that is catching Chinggis Warriors off guard a lot. Here, we saw it in the retake, just how quickly they were there and just swarmed the bomb site. Another one of these more measured rounds coming out from the T side. They've actually managed to get this mid control. With a flash onto Yami, he'll be forced to drop the smoke, and it's not going to be the press, just the spam back. So the T-side, this is the most space they've had, but still, looks like the end goal remains more or less the same. Cobra's been baited in, perfectly executes, but gets executed straight back. This is full space to be.
Yeah, I don't know about the CT setup there, honestly. They don't play super well off each other, and it's too deep in Jag, as I call it. Many names for that area, of course. But yeah, they just, I feel, don't have the best defense there. So this makes the retake very, very difficult. 4 versus 3, of course, and yeah, those kills come in so early, so you don't necessarily have to, like, splurge your utility. So they've done very, very well. Bought time for that flank. And I think this is maybe a lock-in now, or rather a lock-out for the Huns, as 9 is attempting to survive here. Does well for 2. Does well for 2 indeed. That will certainly affect the Chinggis Warriors' finances into these upcoming rounds, but yeah, the Huns maybe going to be kicking themselves ever so slightly. I just don't really agree with this B setup, in all honesty, and yeah, it just goes down way too easily as well.
Yeah, it feels like if you're going to do that setup, you're either all in or you're out. You know, you play with each other instantly, or you just fully bait and try and properly catch off 2 players there. But hey, that's the second round. Jump not quite made, but not gonna matter. Saul's gonna try and walk around the smoke. Cobra is on the other side, holding for that exact play. So that's a AK picked up. An opening kill found. And the lurk timing in the last round was fantastic when that timing came through red. So we'll see if Controls can pull off the round again. Does have a late mid play being set up, and with the distraction on B, that's going to give them more space to burst through. Cobra, though, is holding down the bomb site all by himself, getting wrapped upon Ghetto Kids. Well, not Ghetto Kids, that's E-Fire. Under the Ghetto Kids banner. Will actually manage to get out. Somehow. He's escaped. Ring around the Rosie, and then Controls, with that lurk, does find the kill. He can now lock off all the rotations.
Yeah, so smart here. Just gives them the contingency, and he might just get away with all of them. Yeah. Cool, calm, and collected, to be honest with you. Certainly a cliche turn of phrase, but that is very, very by the book kind of play there. Controllers, you know, not caught in the chaos of B. You know, he had time to set himself, time to set his crosshair. And like I say, just having that confirmation of the info that it's like, I can bail on B, go towards A, don't have to worry about that. Very, very well played, and certainly something that they've figured out in the past couple of rounds is just let him cook, basically, and, you know, find some space to work with. And that's 2 rounds that they have confirmed off the back of his lurking presence.
Cobra's going to get aggro now. MP down in hand. Just had that support from Cave. It's a fake out over onto A early. You can see the smoke still on your map. One lands in CT elbow, one in donut to try and suggest that it's going to be the change up and the play towards A, but with no follow through. It is keeping 2 players rooted over here, but 9 moves back over towards B to support. Now comes the take utility to get in towards lane. 1 for 1. He's still got 9 close by, but he can't get away. He'll go down to E-Fire. You've still got Zeralt tucked into the corner. He'll swing out, can't hit the shot. Bomb to be planted.
Yeah, again, from the Huns, they are really having their defense picked apart now, I think. They're not necessarily playing off of each other. Yes, they're in, like, close proximity, but I think when you're getting aggressive in lane there, you have to have, you know, a backup. You have to have a player that's going to immediately trade, and hopefully trade 2 if you set up well enough. You know, it's such a claustrophobic area. Everybody on top of each other, you really can get away with those moments, but I'm not sure. They, again, had a bit of an aggressive move, and then they maybe get caught in a timing, because I think the player that died on site itself was pushed up, but, you know, he was just in transition. They were just calling it off, maybe, but all the same, not super coordinated.
Yeah, they kind of had the players there, but you're right, it was just very disjointed. All the kills came in isolation. T-side able to trade out very effectively. So a very recovered half here. This is looking like a great position to get 5, which, considering how this started and the absolute slugfest this was, with the Huns just walking all over Chinggis Warriors, 7-5 would be phenomenal.
Yeah, it was right on that moment, wasn't it? You know, I think I just mentioned that it's like, right, we've got to start winning now, otherwise it could become disastrous, and that's exactly what they did. So, you know, credit to them. and the ability to turn things around, especially on a T side, can never be overlooked. Little 1-for-1 here at the bottom end. Oh, ramp, flash, counter flash. Disastrous situation for Zerolt. And that will give the upper hand to the Chinggis Warriors here.
A messy fighting towards mid though. Bartek needs to get this kill back, but he's been dinked on the swing. Both players exchanging blows. A flashbang actually hitting controllers in the toes. He is locking out Bartek at the moment. Finally, Yami will come through with the kill, and the MP9 on 9 swings through. It leads on to Carnage. The 1 versus 2, and he has all the information on both of these CTs. But I don't know if he's going to be ready for this really fast long rotate. Not even considering it. Perfectly locked in. Bartek secures it. An 8-4 for the Huns.
Welcome back, everybody. A keen comeback, I think it is safe to say, from the Chinggis Warriors. Is it going to be enough, though, I think, is the big question here. Their map pick, we do have this kind of interesting pick from the Huns moving into Mirage, but, you know, it would be nice to start off with a nice, clean victory if they can in this series. So, going to need the pistol as the first step in the second half.
One of my favorite setups, 4B. One player hanging out on A, but with the A split coming through, that feels a little dicey. Kind of drops the smoke. So we'll slow down these players, but probably only for a moment. They jump out trying to overwhelm, and Cobra's found the frag. CTs start to arrive, but the bomb's already being planted.
Yeah, that feels kind of worked out, doesn't it? The Huns know exactly how Chinggis Warriors were going to play this one, and they are very, very ready for this post plant now as well. So, a set pistol, a smart pistol, and ultimately, a successful one. It looks like Controllers is not having anything to do with this. He's going to take his kit and his smoke into the next round, so a potential sign of a force, but it also feels like his only option, to be honest. So the Huns with a very dominant pistol, that will put a crimp in the step of that Chinggis Warriors side. Going to be difficult now to mount this fully fledged comeback.
Yeah, and a pretty straightforward pistol at that as well. Classic mid to A. Well, with the split coming through. And as soon as you see that smoke being dropped in Donut, you kind of realize that there's not a lot of defenders here. He's trying to play delay, so let's try and just pounce on it. There's even a flashbang to help set that up. They all burst out through Donut at the same time. And as soon as you're in that 5-on-4 with Donut control, you just feel like you're in the perfect position to win out the pistol. We will see that force buy. So, Chinggis Warriors, all or nothing into this one. MP9s. I don't know if 9 was expecting the force back, because he's still rocking dualies. Oh, that util. Trying to get up close, but jumping straight into a HE.
Yeah, kind of from bad to worse, I think, for the side of Chinggis Warriors. They really are struggling here. Dangerous setup, but patiently played by the Huns. Keen find on the first. Oh, they were not ready for the MP9, but the spin around from 9 is just absolutely deadly. Still a few more players to get through, but they've been slowly picking them apart. A couple of consolation frags ultimately, but the Huns are creeping very, very close to this quick victory.
Yeah, I think the T side is where we're really going to see them just set the tone. You can start to see it in the CT half where they just kind of were running over Chinggis Warriors, not giving them any space, trying to make this a quick one. I'm not sure they were even really anticipating too much contest into that round, and when they found it, it still wasn't a problem. So now you're up against the Deco. This should be 11 assured, and the Huns are like the opposite of Chinggis Warriors. There's no B play happening at all. It's AAA.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it, as they say. And I think the Huns definitely living up to that at the moment. Maybe going to start to smell a rat here on that CT side of things, but they're so damn far away. I mean, it is only the Deagles into this round, so they may as well send it in. Nephi with a nice find there on the edge of the smoke. I mean, whether these rotations are able to get in to help him, he still remains alive. Could take another head here. Not going to be the case. Bartak with a bit of a fadeaway. And, you know, if it was a bit closer here, I might get excited. Maybe I am slightly excited after that one. They're still isolated from each other, but one clean tap here could change the fate of this round. Not too sure that it is going to happen. I think that was the opportunity, and now you're not going to get the same clean chance. Rushing in, Cobra on the AK makes it look easy, and it's all down to Controllers with surely not quite enough time to get this one going unless they make a monumental mistake here on the Hun side of things. Not going to happen, so number 11... Yeah, this one really is going from bad to worse for Chinggis Warriors.
Some nice shots at least coming out for the CTs. I think they did catch the Huns off guard, or at least the Huns were trying to just really run over them and maybe weren't playing their most careful counter-strike there. Regardless, they get the job done. See those shots come back out. It was the kind of messiness in towards middle that got us a little bit excited. We'll have all the rifles out. This is where we'll see if Chinggis Warriors do have much left to say on Ancient. Looking for that first CT round. Needs to come now.
Yeah, a big turnaround going to be required, and that is not the way that you want to start this off. Aggression from both sides, timing just a hell of a lot better from 9. I mean, Controllers caught in the back. It just is not their game today, it would seem. We maybe had a tiny bit of hope at the end of that first half, but yes, it is heartbreaking fact. Akil with the first find, maybe. Can we get a few more? Certainly going to need a few more, and I think information slowly coming in that this B-bomb site is the dangerous one. However, plays like that you're never really going to get away with. Look at this guy. He's playing his heart out, and you just walking through a smoke, you know, throwing it away and leaving him to ace for this round.
It's crazy. They've known exactly where he is this entire time, and yet they just keep walking into him. And even now, they could have ran to A, and you can see he was trying to get ahead of it, but might have a really nice timing here. There's actually a real chance this ace clutch could work out. No, Bartek just swings. No chance, unfortunately. Just give it an opportunity. A few 1v1s to set up some excitement there for Chinggis Warriors, but this is now map point 12-4. There's not really been too many signs of life for Chinggis Warriors. It's some very nice shots out of Arikul, so you take those, but you'd much rather be taking some rounds.
Yeah, this is it. This is it. And I mean, just a couple moments in that round, isn't there, where Chinggis Warriors maybe don't help themselves, let's say. Potentially could have had a better looking round. Some decent nade damage to start this one off, and a delayed burst in towards middle. So the Huns just a little more structure to them on this T side, it feels like, rather than the straight sends. That being said, they leave themselves open to quite a few fights here, and not really going all that well. 9 with a quick trade into Donut, so they should be able to get this bomb down. And they do have a player in nice and deep in the form of Cobra, so gets a little interesting. The rush through the smoke actually works out well. Into the 1 versus 2 for Cobra. Does tag up the first nade. Will not get the job done, but brings it close. And now just one more to find. Exior, where is he at, right? Is the big question, of course. Cobra now knows he's so very low. It's going to have to be a super clean peek, a super clean headshot, and he will get it done. Written in the stars for Cobra to finish things off with a flawless T-half there for the Huns. And a very, very one-sided affair. You know, Ancient is their kind of best map and absolutely most played, and they've just been completely rolled. So again, there are a few question marks here. I just think that Chinggis Warriors, they got a lot going on. Bit of sort of burnout, maybe trying to focus in on the LAN tournament that they're at, and this might have slipped the net, so to speak, and the Huns are looking to capitalize on that as we get into the pistol.
We've got a heavy B lane from both teams, so Chinggis Warriors will be ready to receive the Huns. They start to contact through. Yami setting up a Molotov, but the action comes in. First kill goes the way of the Huns. They continue to accelerate. Smoke deployed to give some space for the defenders to work with. Arikel's playing backside, trying to play around empty. Swings straight into Yami. Good return kill from Carnage. And, well, with the fast flank coming through, suddenly it's a 3-on-3.
Oh. Through the smoke, got no ammo. That's kind of hilarious. Will eventually go down. Just the Julies that remain now. Oh, caught reloading. That's a lot of damage to take right off of just one shot landing. So, not ideal. Certainly not, yeah, what Exor wanted. And I mean, coming a bit close, given a bit more HP, may well have brought that down to the 1 versus 1, but it's not the world in which we live. So, kind of messy, unfortunately, for the Chinggis Warriors. I think the idea was there, but yeah, that smoke push probably messed everything up. No ammo to work. I think 2 bullets to work with. They were ready to follow, and then he's like, wait a minute, I gotta reload and move back in the smoke. So yeah, a bit of a mess there.
He runs through the smoke with no ammo. Oh, that could have been like the round-winning move too, if he has like 2 more bullets. Oh, it happens. It happens. Looked really good too. It's such a great response from Chinggis Warriors. They had, you know, a decent opening exchange, a very fast flank, gave them all of the room, but all of those smokes that landed in towards market really made that so disruptive. You're not expecting that many smokes on a pistol. I'll say that much. And again, it's the B site being taken. The Deagle's looking to do damage. 1 kill does come through for Carnage, but you anticipate that probably be about it. So quick 2-0 start, locked in, and a few Mach 10 kills for 9 feels great.
Yeah, a lot of money being made into the perfect hands as well. So he will be very, very happy with that. And may well see him move towards that early AWP. We'll see. It might be somewhat risky at this stage of the game, and I think, yeah, you like to keep as many quick guns, as many automatic guns out, on this T side. So he thought about it. He certainly thought about it. You know, he was sat on no weapon for a good while there. But does go down to that AK. Interestingly, not picking up a flash. Not quite sure what the logic is there. Again, maybe trying to be a bit cheeky and hold on to some cash to keep that AWP conversation going. He's kind of in the AWPers area as well. Just solo mid here. A lot of smokes down once again. It's going to be the quick A move as they roll in with that utility. 9 from middle. Really, really well put together. And it does indeed all come together, but still, this 2 versus 2 doesn't look the most comfortable. Oh my god, Zerol somehow surviving it. Down to 10 HP to get that bomb down.
Flames really spread there in an unfortunate way. Combined with that spam brings him down incredibly low, so it's still a very achievable retake. That smoke in mid-side is giving some room for the T's to move, and it's going to delay, because Chinggis Warriors have to clear so much space. But Bartak's not walking. He's thinking he's covered. And in fact, that's just going to leave Zerol down into the 1v2. He has no HP. Controller surely deals with him. So a little crawl out together. Crab walking across the bomb site. They got just enough time to get that defuse off. So when the guns come out, it gets a little messy for the Huns. 9 tries to alleviate with the double in middle, but a very successful retake.
Yeah, really, really well played. As you say, 9 towards middle is the linchpin play. But it's quite clever from the Chinggis Warriors. We'll see whether they are able to get away with plays like that in the future. But, you know, the big thing here, of course, is the fact that they've managed to get that rifle round on the board, something that they really did struggle with, even in that first half of Ancient, to be honest. So it's good, I think, for their mental and their progression that they're able to get that first round nice and quick.
The Huns will slow this one down a lot. They thought they could really disrespect on A last round. They were punished for it. They've expended a considerable amount of their utility. We've got 2 sets of smokes left. Zerol looks to try and capitalize on some space in middle, seeing if he can catch someone off guard. Feels like mid B is going to be the play with the setup that they've got. Bombing in towards the apartments. Controllers is completely alone on this side of the map, so if they're able to split through short, he's in for a hell of a time.
Oh my goodness. Rogues, though, with some big finds on the edge of that smoke. Might just have stolen away the idea of this round. Looking very, very good indeed. The break in towards B is not complete failure. So they should be able to get the bomb down right, get some of that investment. However, round itself is most certainly on. Bartak gets 2. Cobra catches E-Fire pushing through the smoke. It's a very bad habit of the region. And I think it may well cost them this round. Controllers is so very low. There's no kit available. And they're split from each other. You know, yeah, it just feels like there is no hope. The MP9 moves on to an AK. I thought he was saving. He's actually going sort of the long way around towards short. So what is going on here? They are most certainly going for it. Arakul with a big 1 versus 1. Got this kit now that he's managed to pick up. Tap onto the bomb. Gotta get him off. Oh my goodness. Bartak is nowhere near. And the defuse comes in nice and easy. What the hell has happened? Controllers is not even needed. It's a 1v2 ninja defuse for the Chinggis Warriors.
That one is rough for the Huns because you feel like they've done all the hard work to bring this round back after, honestly, their own kind of fault there in the slowdown. They had the perfect position to just go for that split, but they took so long in middle that Chinggis Warriors just get bored and start spamming through smokes and get that information. From the 3-on-5, they bring it back into that 2-on-2, and with controllers so low, you think it's going to be their round. Little lost in the sauce. They allow that ninja defuse to come through. Let's put them right onto the back foot. Tag comes through.
Yeah,
The controller is hitting a banger. They're getting absolutely crunched on in middle.
Yeah, it's dangerous. Very dangerous here. For a moment, I thought maybe the scout would come away and, you know, take a few more tags, but not the case in the end. 9 with the deagle. It's a nice Molotov, forces him out. Ooh, okay, it's the headshot that lands. I thought it would be the easy, you know, follow up the fire and whatnot, but he gets the hard one, not the easy one, it would seem. This is good for the Chinggis Warriors, though. Solid lead for them now. The Huns kind of worried as well. Timeout comes in as I think they very quickly want to figure this one out. And this is the thing, right? You've got your Mirage, you've got your nice victory in the back pocket. Gives you some confidence. But what do you do when it starts going wrong, right? And I think that they are very aware of the fact that they lack some experience on this one. And it's a totally different team. It's going to be a totally different play style. So, yeah, they give the respect across to the Chinggis Warriors with the first time out of the series as well. It is worth remembering.
Yeah, that first map was just an absolute whirlwind. We're on map 2, 6 rounds in, and we started less than an hour ago. So much like Chinggis Warriors, the Huns are going to go for a hero AK into this round with pistols around it. So can Cobra find anything to get this round going for the Huns? He's posted up for it. Hoping that someone will swing from Con. He's not going to get given that fight just yet. Similar standoff occurring in the B apps, both jiggling each other, waiting for that timing. Scroll out through mid. This is where Cobra can be set up, can maybe catch a player off in Con. He's looking for that fight, and Zerold ahead of that smoke, but caught out.
Yeah, really, really well read there from Rox. Just to know that, you know, if there's something going down towards middle, if there's a lurking presence here, maybe looking for that split again that they tried a few rounds ago. They managed to recover one back towards short, giving some pressure on this B bomb site. But it doesn't look like they are going to follow up on the B play, so rotating round towards A. Oh, I was going to say good catch, but it's Cobra that gets the head. It's Hero AK proving to live up to that namesake for sure. Carnage in towards CT on the AWP. This is, you know, difficult for him. He feels like he has to do something, just peek straight out into the AK, caught completely off guard. But I was going to say, you know, against the pistols, the recovered M4, that AWP would have a troublesome time, not going to be bothered about lack of armor and lack of utility. But it's the M4s and the AK, namely, that could really do some keen damage here.
Sentry lands forward. They do have the kit, but without a smoke, it does get really tricky with this setup. Flames will burn out Cobra, but 9 is on this flank. It's not the commitment. He starts to speed up, worried that it will be, but it's planted for CT as well. And between him and Yami, they combine for a killer piece at late flank, coming through CT, Glock in hand. But really, it's Cobra that is the absolute hero of this round. 3 kills with the AK to set this up. He picks apart every single one of them. The slowdown really working out well for Huns to allow this AK to work.
Yeah, the AK is in there. I think the plant as well. Got to give credit to the idea for the post plant. Even with the hold there, I think it's very, very difficult for the Chinggis Warriors. It's totally open to where the M4 is, which is obviously what they're worried about, but also with that flank coming in, you know, really well thought out by the Huns going into the final. Well, indeed, it would be 40 seconds, but, you know, the final 10 that really makes the difference. Cobra jumping in here, a little awkward. Will get taken down. Trade is there, and it's pretty much the only presence on the B bomb site, so you feel like this should start falling into place quite easily for the Huns.
As long as 9 doesn't get caught off. 9 gets caught off. Kill comes through with that M4, but Zeralda is still here, and Bartak alleviates further pressure. Carnage's fun little timing. This is ridiculous. He's walked around, though he was spotted. Still able to adjust back, so it falls now onto Bartak. Wants to flush this player out, but Carnage just wide swings him. So it looks good to start things off. They managed to get in successfully. This is the fourth spy with lesser weaponry. Yet still, there's fast flank. The fact that 9 gets caught out causes all sorts of concerns.
Yeah, very problematic once again. I think, messy, to say the least. I think there's another catch on like the B bomb site, or maybe towards short or something like that, at the same time that 9 got caught. Maybe not quite as egregious, but a couple players leaving themselves exposed, I think, is certainly not ideal. So the Huns not looking as clean as they were on Ancient. I think that is safe to say. We're back with another dodgy buy here as well.
A lot of very close rounds that have all swung, well, say the Hero AK round, the way of Chinggis Warriors. These slower rounds actually seem to find a bit more success for the Huns as they can hunt and pick apart Chinggis Warriors. This time it's 9 that gets that opener. Middle has not been contested at all, so they can boost up, they can go anywhere. Defenders are completely split. So the Huns in a powerful position if they want to squeeze this A-bomb site.
Oh, this could be big. Oh my goodness, Bartak.
What's he looking at?
Why is he ever looking ramp? He's got a teammate down there. There's no way he's getting flanked. Oh man, that is a huge oversight. Just a micro mistake. But it seems like the rest of the squad will keep their cool. Still win out the A-bomb site anyway. Bomb going to go down. Planted once again for the con angle. 9 with a risky peek, in my opinion, but he makes it work. Roax, I think, going to be known about here as well, so should be nice and simple. 9 is long gone, my friend. And he is long on the rotate, actually, looking to get a bit of a side swipe here and deny even the save. Really well played. Great bit of movement. Makes it look easy, and the Huns with arguably a steal, but all the same, evening things up.
Really cheeky round from 9. This is the opening he got, but then he gets boosted up. I don't know what Bartak's up to there. It almost cost them the round. I love that immediately. It's like, there's just no chance that he's going to go for this round, so I'll route all the way back around through short to B so that I can catch him off in market. Big brain plays. And the Huns finally break through. That's the round they've been looking for that resets the economy of the CTs. When you're up against pistols, not a bad idea to go for a set play. So straight into the A-bomb site, they will execute in, and you don't anticipate that the USPs can do too much, but they will be here in large quantities.
Yeah, it could be a bit scary. You have that. Well, a couple deagles, I suppose, now that they're all stacked on top of each other. Uh-oh. Cheeky one through the smoke. They look to try and get aggressive here. In and around the execute, but nothing quite coming off. It will indeed be a bomb plant. Not quite as comfortable and open as they have been in the past. Bartak with some risky taps, sticking around for quite a while on that angle. He will manage to get one. It's Cobra who's keeping his cool here from the back end of the A-bomb site. Keeps them coming. Carnage left low. Very nice shot from him. Could not afford to miss that. Can he get any more, I think? Okay, I was going to say the answer's going to be no, but he keeps them coming. Fair play. It will be the round for the Huns, but it cost them quite a lot there. Could be a bit tight financially at the tail end of the half.
I thought for a second he'd skewered 2 there, but no, it was Cobra helping out. Yeah, none of these rounds have come easy, have they? There always seems to be an extra cost that comes through. Nothing too clean, despite 2 deagles being the only investment they're up against. So being kept honest here. Look at the aggression. Control-as is already in lowers. He's going to keep on pushing, because this has been calmed over as a possibility, though. In fact, get a bit caught out. Bartak was kicking up a fuss in the B apps to try and draw in that player of controllers, and it works perfectly. Now, Carnage might go underlooked here. Oh, no, he's not. He's cleared. I cannot believe Cobra pre-fires that.
Yeah, they're really meticulous in this round. A very, very important one. I mean, super coordinated stuff here. The double nades into market. Goodness me, that is a really, really nice round from the Huns in a lot of ways. You know, I think it speaks to Mongolian Counter-Strike to its truest form, but they still pull off a really, really nice round there. Yeah, that's just glorious, isn't it? Watching those nades. Even the flash for good measure, he didn't even see them coming. So, yeah, 6 now for the Huns. Not quite that sort of victory of the half, but a pretty nice recovery here, actually. There was a time where I thought Chinggis Warriors break the bank, string a few together, and maybe it would have been their half, and we could start talking about a third, but that's not the case. The Huns have returned. Uncharacteristically quiet here, as they're just relying on Yami down below. Zeralt looking to join up with him. Have to keep their eyes on some of these pistols. Is there a play coming towards short here? Not quite yet. He hears some footsteps. What a shot from Carnage. Absolutely beautiful. Maybe a gun for him to take. He'll get another. He will be traded out, but suddenly this round is on and gets a bit interesting. Guns to guard. Always problematic. Smoke's going to start going down as well, so really got to be careful. That AK has been abandoned. This could get deadly.
Already has gotten deadly. These deagles are insane. Now Zeralt's in a lot of trouble. Heading towards ladder. The good news is that the bomb is going into B, and it's completely in the control of the T side, but Ericle's here. Very quick, swings out with the 5-7. Big kill. Bomb does go down. But a 2-on-4. Guns have been recovered. It looks like the CT's almost bought into this with the sort of weaponry they have. Beautiful little nade off the back ropes to get that kill. Bartak is recovering this after it all looked like it was going to fall apart. Controllers, though, on that push through short with the recovered AWP, and then the swing to the AK, swaps weapons to get it done. An absurd round for Chinggis Warriors to win.
Yeah, it just shows the yin and yang of a game like this. The previous round from the Huns, beautiful, right? Really, really nice Counter-Strike. And then into this one, it is a bit sloppy. I mean, that shot is ridiculous, that first one from Carnage, for sure, but a lot of fights being lost to the pistols. Not as much coordination. They were so cleanly on top of each other, ready for the trade in that round previous, but in that round, everybody just by themselves taking 1v1s, and yeah, really, really risky players, you can see. So they will be kicking themselves. That would have been the 7 rounds, and a nice pat on the back that you managed to count yourself a winner. But they are back with a vengeance into this one, Lucy.
You're having more difficulties against the pistols, it seems, than against the actual full weaponry. A Carnage dig. It's hard. Double AWP, which is pretty wild for the CTs. And also it gets a little uncomfortable when you've lost an opening pick. And, well, Control as AWP hits the deck. Cobra shows that he can hit a mighty fine headshot as well. And in the 5-on-3, all you really need to do at this stage is group up and finish the job.
Yep, keep it simple. Don't get too advanced. Don't let any of these players get too excited, let's say. Bit of a timing here at the bottom end of ramp. Bartak is being heard. He's watching it. He will lose the fight. Oh, and the AWP as well finds a kill in towards connector. So 2 players trying to make a play, trying to, do something on their own. May well end up costing the Huns here. 3 versus 3. Really quick flank coming in. Doesn't look like it's necessarily expected or been fully communicated. He's making a bit of noise over there. The AWP gets a kill through the smoke, and it has all fallen apart. 1 versus 3 for Cobra. Left incredibly low, and yeah, the flying M4 is even enough. Oh, goodness. gracious me, the final 2 rounds of the half there, really, really disappointing stuff from the Huns. But 6-6 does give us a game of Counter-Strike. Certainly going to be excited for this one. Stick with us, and we will be back after a short break.
Messy is the word I would use to describe that first half for the Huns in particular. Chinggis Warriors were quick to exploit many of the mistakes that the Huns were making. Many rounds that the Huns should have had. They had all the advantage in, but they let slip. So ends up being tied up when it could have been a lot more dominant.
Yes, I think they will be absolutely kicking themselves. Really could have been a repeat of the first map, you know, and then just kind of keep it together into this second half. We'll see what the pistol can get done. Cobra having a cracking game, and oh my goodness, cracking third shot there. He has pretty much single-handedly taken this one to town. We'll see as the bomb goes down if there's anything in this for the Chinggis Warriors. I think that was their moment. Does not happen. Arakul here in from bench, trying his absolute best, but unfortunately not going to come off for him. So really, really clean pistol off the back of Cobra. A bit of assistance from the rest of the team, of course, but that is one thing. The Huns have got pretty clean pistols, it feels like.
Yeah, Cobra is kind of insane, actually. Those shots were nutty. That last one in particular, pretty much single-handedly wins them the round, as you say. So a fairly decent pistol, but with the bomb going down, Chinggis Warriors, of course, will invest into it. They probably would have invested anyway. What we're seeing so far from them in this series. And it's pretty damn good. 4 Galils, 1 Tech 9. You actually quite rate that.
Yeah, it could be workable here. I think a buy that you've got to be careful of if you are the CT side. Quick little 1-for-1 on opposite sides of the map. That's the big frag as Bartak gets the kill and is able to stay alive ultimately. So, pretty cleanly done. Chinggis Warriors, as was the case on Ancient, moving very, very quickly in this round. They also, you know, bombing T-spawn, so it feels like they maybe didn't really have much of a plan for this. Just swing in, try and get some headshots.
The regress into middle could be a nice little timing. The Huns were sticking around pretty actively, but saw nothing, so disengaged. Zeralt needs to be aware of this possibility. No, he's going to get caught back turns. It's going to allow this split into the B bomb side. Now, there are 2 defenders here. That jump across towards backside might bait in the second player, but Cobra getting removed. 9 will swing out, and he'll double down. Oh, 9 will triple down. Little cheeky final frag. I'm sure he was expecting to get that one, but was ready for that fight regardless. Well held.
Yeah, super solid stuff. Kind of one of the names that you really want to be playing well on the Hun side of things. So leads from the front as that mature member, the AWPer as well. You know, a lot of roles that this guy carries out, and he is looking pretty damn good here. So hopefully a bit more of that, and, you know, might see him on that comfortable AWP as well. We are back once again with this hero AK. Force the issue as much as possible seems to be the name of the game for the Chinggis Warriors. That's a hell of a nade. But I think we'll make the early death less painful. Controllers with a crazy, just really, really unlikely run towards short, to be honest. It's taken out in the back. It's a lot of damage on 9 there. He's lucky to be alive, but he will still win out his fight. So hanging on by a thread, but it is indeed this 3 versus 2. We'll keep our eyes on E-Fire. He's gathering a lot of info and maybe a flank on the cards here as well. Just depends if he gets that timing. Bartak's got eyes on this angle. Surely not. Yeah, will go down. The shot lands, to be fair to E-Fire, but that's not going to be enough if it's not a headshot. So just one man against the world.
A lot of shots have landed, and this maybe is a good timing. Okay, so 9 goes down. That's going to allow this bomb plant at the very least. Armor and M4. Spotted out. Here comes the flank. Bartak drops the incendiary. A double up over the top of the stairs, but a great shot out from Rokes, and that's going to give him a fantastic position to close out this round. And incendiary recovered. Yami is low HP, doesn't have the kit either. Sure, he knows exactly where his opposition has gotten to, but it's about finding this fight. Yami will! Unbelievable! He has no kit needed to get that kill instantly. He will deliver, and that is crushing, because that could have been a very nice 1v3, and in fact, it started so well. He got the hard kills, but the 1v1 is where Yami shines.
Yeah, that is a wild round. A lot of individuality on display there. Did feel like there was, you know, some questionable moments for the Chinggis Warriors, but gotta hand it to the 1 versus 3. Very, very, very solid attempt from Roux, but it's not going to be enough, and that could be a really, really key turning point in this series. To be honest with you, the Huns looking down the barrel of the 2-0 now. Money is dried up. They do have a buy here, Chinggis Warriors, but a lot rests on this. You know, I think that if the Huns take this, they really do start looking towards a clean victory here and start thinking about that next matchup. Slow build up.
Space being gathered. Cobra is on the line, and that is a beautiful little shot on the chair. He'll swing out for another as well. Cobra's been very sharp with it. Gets taken down, but the immediate response is there. 1 by 1, the T side crumbles. Feels like the life has been knocked out of them. Slow peek into the waiting arms of Cobra, who is not missing much lately.
No, that is true. But yeah, I think you certainly hit the nail on the head, absolutely spot on with the notion that they have sort of lost themselves, I think, because of that previous round and a tough roller coaster of emotions, it is safe to say. So, yeah, not really looking good for the Chinggis Warriors. We will have Rourke saving here. Don't think they are necessarily going to be after him. Might go looking, might go searching, but it feels like they're all so far away on the CT side that they're not going to be able to find him. And also their money is not great, right? You don't want to put yourself in a position of reset so close to the finish line. So he will get away with the save, but 10-6, another pretty dominating display in the second half here from the Huns, and yeah, it's looking worse and worse and worse. So Chinggis Warrior is going to have to pull their finger out.
Interesting for Chinggis Warriors. It has been a very much just default every round. I've seen a lot of set plays. I've seen an opening kill though, so that's a frag onto Bartak on A. They're not going to immediately commit off it though. Again, they're just going to kind of spread out. Look for clues. Going to fake out that it's going to be this A hit, and that's all to set up this play from E-Fire. Catch Sotzerolt. Yami removed as well, and Chinggis Warriors in a great position to pick up their first T round.
Yep, looking pretty convincing here, to be honest with you. I think these last two CTs should save, just so they can have some kind of a defense in the next round. 9 sticking around, you know, he wants just one kill, you know, keep his stats nice and fresh. E-Fire with 2 HP will find the head of Cobra, so he does prove to be mortal. I think certainly taking his eyes off the ball there. 9 also completely caught off by the CT push, so it ends up being no one saving, and you can see it would have made a difference, right? Maybe leaving just one player on a weaker weapon, they could have dropped across and, you know, got it together, made something work, but now their only option really is to save, and you've got Yami with very little cash available. He's actually opting to force, so this is messy, very, very messy financially speaking.
I'm actually surprised that he forces. I think everyone would kind of be on the force train if they're going to do it. And then he decides to sell the armor anyway, so it's kind of like a half-in situation.
Feels a bit weird here, just how tentative the Chinggis Warriors are, and yeah, some of that kind of play is maybe going to cost them, because the Huns will be exactly the opposite. Gun taken down, that's kind of the key kill found. E-Fire in towards middle with the lurking presence is able to write them off and make sure that actually nobody's going to get their hands onto that gun. So 2 deagles remain. Zeralt has been hidden this entire time. He might be able to creep out and find one. Just waiting for Yami at the moment to get himself into gear ever so slightly. Also in a pretty good position. Nice find from Zeralt. Oh, this could be large. Could be very large indeed. Yami does not land the shot. He was just robbed of the clean kill opportunity, but all the same, maybe he should have had that one.
Yeah, Yami finds that kill and you start to get interested, right? Like, sure, it's a 10-second defuse with no armor and not much of a shot at it, but you could certainly see that round getting interesting. You would have loved to have saved a weapon there as well, at the very least, for Yami. Great shot out of Zeralt. Okay, so he'll be on the MP9 this round. It's not too bad. You've got the 9 AWP in play, and 9's been having a great series. But good to have him starting on it early. Missed window smoke actually gave him an opportunity to maybe fight forward. Now drop some util back in response to prevent his swing. But again, we're having a lot of aggression over to this A bomb site. A lot of poking and prodding up the ramp, putting the pressure on. Zeralt is brought down low. Bartak has to fall back, drops a defensive smoke to slow them down, but the pressure is on A.
They are out, but no one's really committed on either side. This is quite the stalemate on the A bomb site. Going to replenish the smokes. Still not confident enough to get moving quite yet. Fire does find the roll that might... Okay, kick them off. It will distract in towards middle, I suppose. And they are able to get the plant. 9 with a very quick flick. Not an easy one to land at all. Arakul will be kicking himself there as he fluffs it up. It's Controllers and Carnage to try and keep this round alive. Controllers in a good spot. Nah, he was ready for the player to come round the corner. Maybe wanted the second. Not quite going to get it. Still in position here, though, of course. Carnage could get this done. It's so very close. 9's got to be careful. Ooh, I think 10-second timer does go, but he's got himself a kit. That was very, very nearly disastrous. Sort of looking for the kit, looking for the bomb at the same time. Nearly costs him, but my goodness, a very chaotic round. If only, for my money, Controllers had held on a bit longer, I think he might have come away with that double that he so desperately required.
Yeah, I felt like it was necessary in that moment in the 2-on-4 after Yummy gets a ridiculous kill where it looked like he was just shooting at nothing as he swings up close to the opposite side of stairs there and then readjusts onto that jungle player. That's a rough one to lose because it felt like Chinggis Warriors were in a good position there. They had the mid flank come through at a great time, but very fast on the response of the Huns. Like we saw in Ancient, not really allowing the T's to play into a decent post-plant position. So now they are 11-8 up. But a decent buy still here for the T side. In fact, really outclassing what the Huns brought through. Only one player living. Some discrepancy by.
Really quite a tense round here, isn't it? Chinggis Warriors could pull off the impossible. They're moving up short quite quickly. Yami is ready, but he's instantly dealt with. So a dangerous spot as Cobra does actually manage to win that fight. On the MP9, he keeps the dreams alive. In comes his support. 4 versus 2. He's cutting off another player, and somehow the Huns hold it together. It felt like the short move was going to be effective enough for the Chinggis Warriors, but no. Who else but Cobra to keep things held together?
Yeah, Cobra's been insane. I can't believe he wins out that first duel with the MP9, but it's onto the AWPer. So as soon as that first shot's missed, he just keeps on firing. What can you do? Run down by the SMG. Absurd that he gets away with 2 kills there. Series point established for the Huns. Chinggis Warriors need 4 in a row to stay alive here in this series and stay alive here in Challenger League. This is an elimination game in the lower bracket, and they are falling like flies. Carnage trying to bring something back, but Zeralt's aware, not even needed. It's Cobra that gets the kill. And after an incredible fight back and forth, it's looking like it's going to go out with a whimper. E5, the only one still standing. Surely his days are numbered. Gets 1 kill back, but now he is known, and the net begins to tighten. The headshots do connect from Bartak, and the Huns will win out the series 2-0.
Yeah, ultimately the better side on the day. I think that much is evident. Some nice moments from the